Right, Foxy's asked, following death from West Derby and Cone Man on Bramley-Moore Dock not happening / bad investment for the city. What opinion have you got most wrong, Ryan?
Oh, see, I was going to give one an opinion of myself, but I found an opinion of my old man's to be funnier than anything I've ever heard. So back when takeaway was first coming in Australia, takeaway pizza was a thing, and Dad's opinion was that no one would ever buy takeaway pizza. He thought it was doomed to fail, and here we are, 30 years later, and it's $1 billion industry. But anyway, and it lasts as the shittest opinion I've ever heard. That is just the worst take.
That is.
Who would want takeaway pizza? I mean, I don't know, druggos, fat people, normal people, anyone? Like,
do you know what? It's got a point, because it shouldn't be 20 quid for a pizza, should it? Like, that still wrecks me head a bit. Like,
do people actually ever pay it though?
Yeah, well, they pay 16 with a voucher, don't they? But
yeah, you always get it.
But that 16 is still too much for a pizza. That's still too much money.
Well, yeah, I got 4 for 40 quid last night. £40 on pizza. It was to feed 5 of us.
But so it's too much money, that though. Like, you could,
ridiculous.
Yeah,
it is gonna sort our dinner today as well. So it's effectively 2 meals.
There is that. Yeah.
Yeah, not all bad. Can anyone beat Ryan Dalfell's bad take on pizza, Sam?
Yes, easily. Absolutely easily. I thought cheese wasn't nice.
Oh,
honestly, like for the most, like for me being well, first of all, I used to think pizza wasn't nice, and I'd never eaten pizza when I was a kid, because tomatoes just didn't look nice. Because, you know, when you're a kid, you're like, that doesn't look nice. It isn't nice. And I know this because I know everything. So me auntie tricked me one day and was like, it's not got tomato on it, no? And there's this base of red tomato on a pizza. I'm like, okay, I like that. And then my mind was forever changed. I was like, this is brilliant. Obviously, that's got cheese on it. But until, I would say, the end of last year, I was convinced cheese wasn't nice.
What broke you?
I had this thing where, like, if you have just raw cheese, it can't be nice. Like, why would it be nice? And then I actually ate a bit of cheese when I was, I think I was at my sister-in-law's mum's for Christmas. She had this mad cheese board, and I was like, look at that. It can't be nice.
What did you go in for?
And I was like, okay. So I had a little bit. And I had obviously a little bit of bread with it and all sorts of stuff. And I just put it in my mouth and I was like, I've wasted my life. Truly wasted my life. And now I love my cheese. So that, I think, is probably the worst opinion ever. And if you think you don't like cheese, please don't waste another second. Go and eat your cheese.
Yeah.
What cheese did you have? I need to know what broke the camel's back there.
Now, see, I'm not at the point yet where I could say, right, I know my cheese is here. There's one that I do know, which I do like, and that's brie. Mm-hmm. Love brie. Brie is like sensational.
It's a good entry-level enabling cheese. That's like a gateway cheese, brie.
Gateway cheese? Gateway to what, though? What's the next level of cheese?
To the really good stuff.
Yeah, but what's the next level?
You'll work your way up to blue cheese and you'll never look back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. But yeah.
One of those proper hanging ones with maggots and all kinds.
Yeah, the worse it looks, the better. The worse it smells, the better, definitely.
A good baked brie cheese, though.
What's that?
Give me some of that. Bit of baked brie chease in the oven. It's nice and gooey. Yeah.
Baked camembert with rosemary in. Lovely.
See, now, I after I discovered I like cheese, I decided that what I was going to do was for New Year's, because obviously we couldn't go anywhere. I don't like going anywhere on New Year's anyway. It's not nice. So my thing was, I'm going to get myself a camembert. I'm going to get a load of bread. I'm going to warm the bread up and stick it on a chopping board that I'm going to rest on my chest. And I'm going to lie down. So it just sort of sat on my chest. And I can't remember what film I watched, but I was not paying attention to. Oh, no, I think it might have been RuPaul's Drag Race, but it was something. I was sat watching it in the background. And I was kind of like a decadent Roman emperor, just like scooping camembert and then just shoveling it. And it was everywhere. And it was perfect. I was the most decadent I've ever been in my life, and I wouldn't change a second of it. More of that.
Sam, any bad opinions or cheese stories?
I'm really low on cheese stories. I feel like I failed. I think my bad opinion. Sorry to drag this back to Everton, but I think possibly my worst opinion was that I confidently proclaimed that the best, when Moyes left, that the best manager Everton could possibly get was Mikel Laudrup.
I think I fell into that camp as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm glad it's not just me.
I was sold on the coats.
Yeah.
Good look, dead smart.
Really, really swayed by a good coat. Like I don't like how swayed I am by a good coat. By grooming, I'm really easily taken in. This is how so many managers have happened, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's where it went wrong for Martinez. Wearing that little autumn jacket right the way through winter. That's where it went wrong. Nothing to do with football. It was that coat.
Yeah, I'll give you that. So basically, if an Everton manager washes, shaves, and has a nice coat, he's got a job for life.
Yeah.
Can't knock it. It's a good system.
And it's no coincidence that we love Ancelotti and he has a great coat.
But how do we feel about bald managers? Like, bald, okay, not okay? What are you saying?
I don't know. I got into trouble with Rob on the group chat about this.
Why?
After City beat Everton, I said, well, Pep's still bald. And then Rob replied with a picture of himself and I felt terrible. I was like,
but Rob's still bald.
Carry it off like you can. Of course.
It's a fact, isn't it? It's like, you are still bald. It's the way it works. Like,
yeah, but some people have like massive bald energy and that has nothing to do with whether or not you've actually got hair. It's like Daniel Levy. Daniel Levy is the most bald man I've ever encountered. Yeah. But if he had hair, he would still be extremely bald.
Yeah, definitely. Like, you'd think that if he had hair, it would be attached to a zip that he could take off. Because he could like sort of retract baldness back and then put it back on for when he wanted and zip it back on. I could see that with Daniel Levy. Zip hair? Oh my God, I'm going to make zip hair. I think that's a good plan. I think if you could fit a zip like down to the back seam of someone's neck and sort of have like hair that they could zip on properly and then take off and change. So it's like sort of like a secure wig type deal. You'd make millions.
Ryan,
cut this out, Les, please.
Ryan, do some market research. Ask your dad if that says no. We're all in on that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I think he says to invest, which is really concerning me. I think when it comes to bald people, you've got to not be a bald denier. I think you just got to embrace the receding hairline. I think where people start to get into trouble is when they start to, they're in denial about their baldness. It just leads down a bad path, and then you end up getting the Genghis Khan spray on hair or zip hair or wigs, merkins, everything else in between.
Yeah, when you have to get inventive with the comb, that's when you kind of got to think, you know what, I should probably rein this in now.
Me and my friend Kelly Wells were on a Zoom call the other day and ended up Googling pictures of what Marouane Chamakh looks like now. And later in his career, I don't think I've ever seen bald denial like it. Like, he's obviously had a hair transplant at some point and it's all gone back. But there was a 5-year period towards the end of his career that I've not seen anything like that on a head.
The shark fin.
Yeah, but with kind of structure to it, like there's no substance to it whatsoever, but somehow it standing up, it's remarkable.
It's mental. It's like he's got an aura of hair rather than hair.
Yeah.
Like, it's just incredible. But see, I've got a crossroads that I'm probably going to hit in the next 5 years because I'm 100% going to be bald. Like, my dad's bald, my granddad's bald, my other granddad's bald, my other great granddad's bald, we're all baldies. It's what we do. Like, we know bald, we live bald, we eat bald, we are bald. We are bald.
Yeah, I'm gonna get there too.
Yeah, but so I've got to make a decision, and like it's going to go one of two ways. You either embrace it and just go, yes, I'm bald. I'm going to carry this bald energy, or you leg it to Turkey and get it fitted like properly. And I still, because I know loads of people kind of have it in their head, they're like, I wouldn't do that. I still don't know. Like, I'm at this point where I'm getting closer and closer, and I'm like, I still don't know. At the point, I reckon now I'm 70-30 to just going, I'm going to carry ball energy. That's what I'm going to do. But that 30% still lingering. I'm not sure. What about you, Les? Would you ever like get your hair put back on your head?
I wouldn't rule it out.
Yeah.
If I had the money, I'd definitely consider it. But that's the most confusing thing about Cenk Tosun. He's Turkish. He hates being bald.
Yeah.
You know, if anyone could get a transplant, it's him.
Maybe it just doesn't work for some people, though, does it? Like some people, that is the one risk that you run if you get a hair transplant. You run the risk of going bald twice.
Imagine.
Like that's heavy. Like
I think the key thing is you got to make the decision before you start to get really bald, because you can't go from being really bald and then rocking up to the next function with a lovely lush set of locks, because then everyone knows that you've had the transplant. You've got to make the call early on in your baldness to go the transplant, I think.
Andros Townsend just threw that out the window, didn't he?
it's amazing that. Though.
Lazarus like hair do that.
That's amazing because he literally looked like a light bulb. And now it's amazing. But see, I'd embrace that. I'd be like, yeah, I got the transplant and it looks luscious. But again, you run the risk of it going Cenk Tosun-y.
Yeah, but and David Silva, he was completely gone, wasn't he? And then he came back with them. And also, I think I'm sure this is the case that surgeons say, "Oh, I'll put your hairline like here because then it'll look natural." And they're like, "No, I want as much hair as possible. I just want a tiny thin margin between my eyebrows and my hairline, and then I just want lots and lots of hair." Oh, really? It won't look good. No, just it's my money. Take it and do as I say.
Do you reckon they could turn you into a wolfman? Like, and just sort of like put it so you had it like on your cheeks and your nose and all sorts and just make like proper wolfman?
Surely.
I get those wolf kids in Mexico. I remember years ago there was always pictures of like a wolf boy from Mexico. Are they still around? Do you still get them?
I don't know, Les. I can't say I've gone on many expeditions to find wolf boys in Mexico.
No, they were in books. You don't have to go to Mexico. They were in books.
We've got something called the internet now.
No.
It's within your power to check.
Well, I'm going to check and look at Mexican wolf boy.
That might be the most Les thing I've heard in ages. Is do they still have them wolf boys in Mexico?
They do.
I remember.
You know, the last news story I can find is the struggles of the world's hairiest family from September 20th.
Oh Christ!
Oh wow!
I wasn't prepared for that.
They are hairy. Yeah.
Are they?
Yeah. And
do you look like wolf boys?
You do. Genuinely do. See, that's where this show goes. Before you know it.
I always remember in high school, speaking of hairy people, there was one of my really good mates. He had the world's hairiest nipples. He had no hair. He had no hair anywhere else, and his nipples were just little afros. It was unbelievable.
See, I've got so much sympathy for that because I had that when I was younger. Until the rest of your hair starts to actually grow, I had pure hairy nips and nothing else, and it was so weird. It's the strangest thing to look down and just be able to plait your nipples. And, yeah.
Right, moving on to question 2. Could be a long show, this one. That's best building in the city. Ryan, do you know what? I'll come to you first on this. What's your favourite building in Liverpool?
Oh, there's only one good building in Liverpool, isn't there? The Liver buildings, of course.
Yeah, there is a belter. Have you been inside?
No, I haven't. Although I do really like the Radio City Tower as well. I don't know if that's an offensive opinion or not, considering how big and eyesore-y it is, but I reckon it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's the fact that they've made the chimney look like a spaceship that I quite like. Because that's all that used to be. It was just a chimney, I think, for the market, wasn't it? Or something. Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's what it is. It's just a massive chimney.
Remember when it was a restaurant?
Through a revolving restaurant on it, yeah.
Did that last?
Like that, it stayed for a while, didn't it?
I remember it as a kid. I went up there once. I think.
Yeah. But they robbed the idea from Epcot, didn't they, of like the revolving restaurant thing?
I remember the first time I ever went. First time I ever went to Liverpool, I saw the building. I was like, that has to be a revolving restaurant.
Oh no!
It just screams revolving restaurant.
Bring it back. Bring it back.
It's the fact that, I mean, the best thing about the sort of Liverpool skyline is the skyline itself. So if you're actually up above the skyline, there's really not much to see. So you go around, there's Birkenhead, there's Rock Ferry,
See, I like it. I love it because like you can see just all of like the unseemly bits of the city, like, which is dead nice, and you don't get that when you look at the skyline. Whereas you look and you're like, okay, right, I can see, yeah, and you look around, it's just you can see scatty little parts of Liverpool, and you're like, it's a bit like the bit on The Lion King where he's asking about the elephant's graveyard, and he's like, we don't go over there. Like you can work out all them little bits. It's great.
Fair shout.
That's Norris Green, never go there.
I got Norris Green once. It was quite terrifying because there's two estates that are identical, and I was on the wrong one. So I was looking for a certain road, and the map I had, this was before sat nav. Here we go again. The map I had was showing me exactly where it was where this road was, but didn't realise it was on the other estate. Terrifying.
Oh shit.
I still maintain maps are magic. Like, do you know when you actually think about it and you have a big map in front of you? Do you know, like the old school A to Z or something, when you'd be traveling somewhere, like this map knows I'm here. Like this has actually been put together in such a way that it's correct. That's mad. Like it's magic. Because imagine, could you do that? Like, could you do that?
That's the wonders of Ordnance Survey, isn't it? Not my field at all.
That was not a sentence I expected to hear today, but yes, yes it is.
After me Wolf Boy comments, I'm going full Richard Madeley today. Yeah. Sam, what's your favourite?
Oh gosh,
that's where we were. Amazing.
That's not where we were. I don't have a good answer for this really. You know, on Water Street, the Oriel Chambers are quite nice.
Yeah.
Lovely big windows.
Yeah. Got nice high ceilings too.
Yeah, very high ceilings. Must be a nightmare to heat. No, I've got no interest in opinion.
I like the inside of the Phil pub. I think the Philharmonic pub is just being there. Like when there's very few people in there, it's such a lovely inside of a building. Just the way it's not changed and it's old and it's grand and it's wooden and bits of it are falling apart. I love it. Just that sort of niceness to it. Port of Liverpool building, it's gorgeous. Like just walking around in there. And there's a nice cafe in there now as well, which is lovely. Well, obviously not right now, but hopefully soon again. So I do love that. And I've always got a real soft spot for Man Island. Don't know why. I like it. I don't know if it's just because we get incredibly drunk and the nice booze that's in there, or I just like it. I know loads of people hate it, but I like it.
It's just got a nice feel, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's another one with lovely big windows.
Very big windows. It's pretty much just a single big window.
Pretty much. Very light and airy. I like that. Yeah. Right, EB_UTFT. Now that James appears to be coming through his surgery safely, a face with rolling eyes emoji after that. What's your best or worst medical memory?
James who?
Rodriguez.
James. Sorry. James.
That one.
Okay, good.
Yeah. What's your best
James
medical memory? I'm reading it.
Yeah, but
well, the thing is though, the James thing, that's just what English people say to make it sound Spanish.
But it is.
But you don't say James in Spain.
Did he not?
No.
Oh
dear.
So
he doesn't call himself. He doesn't call himself James.
It's in English. Who was saying? Alan Feely, who was on the Weekly with Matt, was saying it's a totally sort of English pronunciation trying to sound Spanish. You don't say that.
So does he call himself James?
I think so, yeah.
Someone needs to ask him this. This is really important now, because if he is called James,
we're going to have to ask the Athletics Paddy Boyland.
I'm going to do that. I'm gonna have to do that because I need to know now. Like,
He's the one with the most access, so.
yeah.
I've only
Yeah.
just remembered that headline when we were talking about 2014 earlier. I've only just remembered the name's Bond, James Rodriguez.
That was great.
Outstanding, though.
What was the question, Les? Sorry.
What's your best or worst medical memory?
Can you have a best medical?
I was going to say points for anyone who's got a really good.
Do
Hair
you
transplant,
have,
maybe? I don't know.
like, is it? And do you know what? I got myself a kidney. Is that the end of that story? Like, no.
You know.
Like,
Could be.
I once stood on a plug that really hurt. Yeah. There you go.
That a medical memory?
I once, oh God, am I going to tell this? Yeah, sure, why not? I once came round in hospital to be told that I was banned from the local spa.
Wow.
Right, okay. So I'd banged my head and I possibly hadn't realised, and I'd gone home and possibly hadn't realised quite how badly I'd banged my head. And I had no idea what happened in the interim because someone found me unconscious and I came round in hospital with a battered in head. And I must have been to Spa and not been very with it, but it must have been bad because the people at Spa had told the concierge in my building that I was not allowed to go into Spa. So I've clearly just gone in there with really heavily concussed and they thought I was pissed or something. And yeah, that was one of the first things that I was told. Apparently you've been in Spa, you're not allowed to go in Spa no more.
Was it like the worst ever beer guilt you've had? Because there's no recollection.
Yeah, it's so much worse than beer guilt because you never get it back. Like I will never have that interval back in my head. It's
still walk past like, wonder what did go on in that spa.
I chanced it about 2 years later actually, and one of the women still worked there and she really earnestly said, "How are you?"
That's worse. That's worse than being told to leave.
It really is.
Ryan?
I've been lucky enough. I've escaped hospital basically my whole life. Although I did break my heel playing footy once. So that was a pretty shitty experience. That was Aussie rules footy, not our footy, round ball footy. But yeah, I just went up for a pack mark as it was, and I landed really awkwardly and sort of crumpled in a heap on the floor and spent, I think it was about 8 months in crutches in the end, because the thing with the heel is that it doesn't actually get blood supply to heal, so to speak. So it's all about time rather than anything you can do with it. So it's just a waiting game with it. So yeah, that was really shit. I spent basically all of grade 6 on crutches.
Heavy.
I've got one.
But
I've just completely remembered it. So I got hit by a car when I was younger because I was dead stupid and ran out in front of a car. And if you run out in front of a car, you get hit by cars. I didn't realise this, but that's what happened. It was a day before me and my family were due to go to Centre Parks, and not the crap Centre Parks that's in the Lake District, the really good one that's in Nottingham. Like, because objectively, it's the best Centre Parks by miles. Like, anyone who wants to argue with that, I will fight you because it is. So I'm there in hospital, and luckily I've not really done very much because quote from the doctor was, "I bounced very well." God knows what that means, but you know, I'll take it. So I didn't break anything. I just had loads of bruises all over me, like black and blue, like it was ridiculous. So I'm dead eager to leave the hospital, and I'm like, I'm fine. I'm fit as a fiddle. There's nothing wrong with me. I want to go to Sherwood Forest and do some archery. Like, come on, let me leave now. So a day passes. They go, yeah, you're okay. So they let me go. And my mum's going to me. She's like, now we just want you to be really careful and just, we're not going to go and do strenuous things. And I'm like, fuck that. I'm going abseiling. Come on, take me abseiling. So go abseiling. Finish there. And I'm like, this is brilliant. I love this. This is great. And then I go and we'll go to the aquatic centre in the big swimming pool with the wave machine and everything. brilliant. I'm loving it. And I'm there, like, in my shorts, like, obviously with no top on or anything. And I'm covered head to toe in bruises all over me. And obviously, I'm having the time of my life. And my parents are sat, like, with me next to them, with this kid who's battered and bruised and all sorts. They're sat there, like, just with parents looking around at them like that, like, what have you done to your child? Like, is he okay? Should we phone social services to try and sort this out? So I've had the time of my life, and they've been accused very subtly just by people's eyebrows of battering their child for a week. It was great.
So not the best holiday for them, but definitely one of the best for you.
I had a lovely time. Abseiling was fun, you know.
And that's the main thing. That's all we wanted.
That was the real quiz.
That was the real quiz. Heather from Michael Blakey now. What local mystery will UNESCO crime department solve next?
Work out what time that mad boozer by Victoria Square shuts, or Queen Square, whichever one it's called. Do you know the little one that's like by the subway? Is it like Cozy's or whatever?
On the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never seen that boozer shut in my life.
No.
Ever.
It looks pretty on top, doesn't it?
Yeah. Like,
Baddies
scary.
definitely on goals in there.
Yeah. Baddies. All the baddies.
All of them. Anyone else?
I'm mostly thinking about 24-hour boozers now.
I know. No. Is there a good one? Do you think a good one exists?
The one up by us is called Booze for You, but with a 4 and a U, which is always a classy choice. Oh, God, and the garage that sells stuff at a ridiculous markup, but every Saturday night there's a massive queue for it, just people getting carry out.
Nice. Love it.
But I prefer Booze for You just for the, just economically.
You know what you're trying to get, don't you?
Yeah. I'd love a 24-hour booze shop.
What's the licensing like in Australia?
Normally, like the bottle shops would close, I don't know, about 9:30, 10 o'clock at the latest. I'd love, and the problem is there's a market here because, you know, when it gets to 1 a.m. and you're on the piss and you run out of beer, you got nowhere to go.
Yeah. And it's probably still dead warm as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And there was actually a bloke who used to do a little side hustle called Dialer Slab. And it used to be a little advertisement in the newspaper, and you'd send the text message, and it was like $100 for $100 for a slab of beer, so like 3 times the usual price, and he'd just deliver whatever he had in his shed. Which, I mean, is genius, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's good.
Everyone's like, no way, Star's like, not paying that, not paying him, no chance. And then as you sort of creep towards midnight and you realise your ale's going, do you reckon she would just fuck him a ring?
Honestly.
Yeah, and it's like it's only $25 between 4 of us. That's actually quite cheap when you think about it.
You know.
My favourite bit there is the height of Les's Australian knowledge being, I assume it will be quite warm.
Yeah. I've been there as well. So, you know, I know it's quite warm at that time.
Honestly, well done, you.
Thanks. Michael Blakey's second question. What's that?
Oh, just Mr. Worldwide you are.
Oh, I am. Michael Blakey's second question. What's your favourite flag and where is it in your house? Sam, I'll come to you first on this. You look like the sort of girl who's got a flag in your house.
Oh, God. Well, I've got very flaggy wallpaper. I don't think I have I don't think I've got any other flags. I like I've probably got a pride flag somewhere, and I've probably got a bi pride flag somewhere. That's very nice. Like, honestly, colour scheme wise, you really want to be a bisexual because blue, purple, and pink is just a lovely combination.
I'll bang into the pastels. Works for me.
Yeah, pastels. Oh no, you want to go trans if you want pastel.
Okay, that's fine.
The pink, blue, and white pastel.
Oh yeah, all over that.
In fact, all of the I think everyone should consult the flag before they absolutely nail down a gender or sexuality, just to check just to check the sort of vibe matches you.
Yeah, can you imagine if you just went, right, that's me, definitely. And then you get the colour scheme, you're like, oh.
Yeah. I think it's the non-binary one that's like really bright pink and bright yellow. And it's, I don't know, it's just really garish. And I just think...
It's Roy the Rovers, basically.
Yeah. Roy the Rovers coming out as non-binary. That would be fantastic. Oh, Roy Race, they, them. That'd be fantastic. I'm really on board with this.
That was definitely the plot twist Melchester Rovers need. Definitely.
They shouldn't have done the helicopter thing. They should just have made it a sort of gender morality tale. So that was a weird answer, but I just genuinely don't have flags apart from pride flags.
That's what this is all about. The weirder the answers, the better. Ryan, you got any Aussie flags?
Nah, I'm not a flag person.
Good.
Although, if we're talking about flags, maybe like a big cock and balls. Maybe if I had a big cock and balls flag, you could put it at half mast every day. But no.
Big cock and balls at half mast every day.
Just for shits and giggles.
Because
you only fly it when the Queen's in.
Because
to be noted.
Go ahead.
You'd love to be known as the person whose house had a big cock and balls on their flagpole, wouldn't you? Like, I don't know.
So taking it would be hand drawn. Would there be hairs on the balls?
Oh, it's got to be hairs on the balls. It's not a proper cock and balls if you don't have hairs on the balls.
So anything coming out the end?
Oh, if you decide that you'd like that kind of thing, yeah, why not?
Well, they're not, you know.
You got to go the whole hog, don't you, when you're drawing a cock and ball? So you may as well have something coming out the end as well.
Yeah, I'd say so. Top mark, Mike.
Well, first of all, I've got questions. Is how do you draw? Not, I was going to say how do you draw your cock and balls, but that's a different question. How do you draw a cock and balls? Is it just the rudimentary school one where it's sort of like you'll just, you know the one?
I take it what you start on the left nut, go round.
Yeah.
There, few hairs up top.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
That's quite basic, quite to the letter. Yeah. Fair play. I'm always intrigued by the people who do it with like two very droopy bollocks and sort of like a horizontal cock that comes off from it. I'm really like that's the creative cock, I imagine. Interesting.
I reckon I'll get away with that as the title.
Creative cock. I don't know. I'm not sure. Like unless you do it with a picture of an actual chicken rooster, then I'm not sure. I'll
make a note of that anyway.
Flag wise, I've got a tricolour in ours that is on an Everton scarf that my granddad bought me for my first Everton match, which is probably the only flag I have in my house because he was a very, very Irish person. I'll leave it at those words.
Better off.
Yep. So that was always really precious to me. So I've always got that hanging up on my door. So that's probably the only flag I've got. Yeah, like that one.
Sound. 3 questions left. Paul Daly, just need a one word. Oh no, we don't need a one word answer because he's a teacher. What's the explanation? Okay. Paul Daly, who'd win in a fatal 4-way parking lot brawl? Amir Khan, Shere Khan, Genghis Khan, or Genghis Khan? He got that wrong. He said the other Khan was supposed to be Shere Khan. And he wants to win it. Your explanation for why they win, and also who you consider as a dark horse in the matchup. Amir, Shere, Genghis, Chaka. Just one word answer off each. Who's winning?
Chaka.
Is Shere Khan?
Everyone just say Chaka, and then I can on, and we can do a feel for you, and then we can all go home happy.
Yeah. I know that's what you're after, but I have to ask a question. Is Shere Khan the tiger from?
Yeah.
That's that one. Yeah, Chaka, innit?
Right.
I feel sorry for Genghis Khan. Surely Genghis Khan gets a gig. It's the Khan you can't forget about.
There's only so far swing bowling gets her in life.
Oh God, did you see Monty Panesar on LinkedIn this week?
What's he done?
No, he's like he was doing some sort of business development degree, and he's just put his profile up on LinkedIn, said looking for cricketing opportunities.
That was me most Sundays when I played down at Egbert. Looking for them, might not come, but I'm looking.
Yeah, I don't know. I just really
seems really sad, doesn't it?
There's a really
touched.
Do you know what? There's a really that entire format of like aging professional athletes on LinkedIn. It's an entire genre because you get it with loads of lower league footballers where it's kind of like, I'm Gary Goals, and you know, it's basically Gary Goals, and it's like really sad.
Oh God, Darren Gibson was similar, wasn't he? He for ages had seeking opportunities on his LinkedIn page.
Darren Gibson's been seeking opportunities for many years.
There's a fella who's definitely been banned from a sport as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Ian Dowie, it's still down as a regional sales manager on LinkedIn, isn't he?
Good play.
Like for a while, he must have been doing that during the week and then doing Soccer Saturday, which I really enjoy.
Yeah, he's filling out his LinkedIn profile. What do you reckon I should put first? The sales gig or Soccer Saturday? Amazing. Yeah, I'm gonna look into this genre of LinkedIn. It's totally passed me by, and I'm a bit gutted now.
It's a rabbit hole of sadness.
I am going in there now. Any workings on why Shere Khan's going to win this, other than she's the best of the lot?
Because you can do the thing that you want to do. There's no other reason.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just we're being accommodating. I think if we were doing it actually
properly,
do you know, if we were doing it properly,
go on.
It's either the big massive tiger because it's a big tiger, or it's Genghis Khan because Mongols in it. Mongols are bad.
Yeah. On the other hand, he's been dead for a couple of 100 years, hasn't he? Well, no, it must be close to a.
Get on for 1,000.
Getting on for 1,000.
I was gonna say, like, that would have been some lifespan from the old Genghis Khan. But the Mongols were mad. Like, if you've never learned about Mongol culture, it's incredibly just mental. They're like the exception to every single rule ever in history. Brilliant. They're great. The Mongols, great bunch of lads.
Great bunch of lads. And when I was looking into this, because he put 2 Genghis Khan, so I was thinking, is that like it's like a Caesar thing where there's a few of them, different ones?
It's definitely a porn star called Genghis Khan.
Oh, it's got to be. Well, maybe Genghis Khan was himself, because the first story that popped up was 1 in every 200 men alive today is a relative of Genghis Khan.
Yeah.
An international team of geneticists has made the astonishing discovery more than 16 million men in Central Asia have the same male Y chromosome as the great Mongol leader. The headline for this, it's classic Guardian. We owe it all to super stud Genghis.
But like, there's another rule of them in Europe where pretty much like the entire of everyone in Europe is in somehow related to Charlemagne. Like going back, like everyone is. It's mad the way it works that just one fella goes around goosing absolutely everything in sight for the entirety of his life and just gives it bifters, and boom, the world. Mad.
Program idea: history's top shaggers.
Do you know what? If you could take out the incest and rape, it might actually make for a decent program. But yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think you should probably go the whole hog with it and have a proper gritty Netflix drama.
Yeah.
We can't swerve the incest and rape. It's just
all right, Genghis.
Right, Matt.
It's fair to say Amir Khan's getting pasted in by everyone.
Yeah.
Amir Khan, all you do is you get a shiny bit of paper, or you do that thing with your phone where you catch the sunlight on like a wall and you do like a cat trying to get at it for a bit. Done.
You know what? I live in Manchester, and you seldom go into a takeaway in South Manchester that doesn't have a picture of the proprietor with Amir Khan.
I
That's
love
amazing.
that. I love that. You know, if I was ever eminently famous enough, I think I'd try and do that in every single place that I could.
Yeah, I think that's the only benefit of being famous, really.
Yeah. If you haven't got your picture up in Amalia, you're not famous enough.
Yeah.
There's a fella who owns a chippy by us who does that, but he sort of we're on like a back wall in the chippy, so you had to sort of squint to see them. On closer inspection, half of them, I'd say at least, were waxworks. So we had a couple of pictures with Liverpool players, but then you saw somebody like, how he met him, and he was with waxworks.
In his shop.
This was in his chippy, yeah.
Wow. So he's rented the waxwork.
Oh, sorry, no, they weren't in his chippy. These were just he met us lots of things like that.
Oh, you made that story sound so much better.
I know. I should have just gone with that, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
Got the waxworks in his chippy.
I had an image in my head of another area of LinkedIn being for waxworks who were trying to stand in for lookalikes. Like, yeah.
Maybe that's what Monty Panesar could do. Stand at the $50 an hour, I'll stand in your chippy. That's no worries at all.
Right. On to Matt's question. Matt Lusk asked, when the North achieves independence, pick one for each. Northern city town to ditch, Southern city town to take, where you're invading first. Amendment for Ryan, swap one part of Oz for one county of the UK, but not Merseyside. So, what's the Northern city we're kicking out of the independent North?
Durham can go for me. The uni bit, like the rest of it can stay, but the uni bit of Durham, all the tragic Oxbridge rejects thinking they're gritty because they've lived in the North, they can piss off.
It sounds like a horrific place, that, doesn't it, Durham Uni?
It's a good answer, though.
Yeah.
I'm getting rid of Newcastle.
Oof.
I don't quite understand Newcastle as an entity, because I think that they sort of have the self-awareness of Liverpool fans, but also are weirdly Scottish about it. And they're sort of in this halfway house of not quite anything, but they don't have the ideals of the Scots or the Northwest. And they sort of have this nether zone of not quite anything. And I just don't think it works in the northern province that we want. So I'd sort of just slide it off. Like, do you know them little puzzle games you used to get in, like, what were they, like goodie bags and stuff, where you'd have one square missing and you'd move them around and you'd eventually make a picture out of it, and it'd just like do that. You just do that with Newcastle, just slide it down, move it down. And I think if you slid Newcastle down, and what you did was, I'm carrying on, by the way, I'm doing two of my answers at once, and you replace Brighton with Newcastle and bring Brighton up, I'd be dead happy with that, because I love Brighton, big into it.
Yeah, that's a shout.
Yeah.
It'd be cold if we put that on the northeast coast. On the North Sea, Brighton would be.
People from Brighton would hate that. They'd hate that move, wouldn't they?
They'd absolutely hate it, but it'd toughen them up, and you know, we'd
You'd turn into Geordies, and we'd be back to square one.
If there's one thing that Pride needs, it's more Geordie voices. So yeah, I'm with it.
Ryan, are you going to go for a UK version, or are you going to go for the Aussie version?
No, let's go the UK version. Why not?
Go ahead. Right. What town or city are you ditching?
Let's fuck Leeds off.
Leeds.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Good answer.
Just get rid of
That's a
them.
good answer.
Yeah, I might have said Leeds if I dared to say Leeds. But, you know, you walked so we could run.
Leeds is a very good answer.
What southern city or town are you taking?
Brighton.
Did someone say Brighton?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to follow you with Brighton.
Yeah.
Sam?
Morally, I think it was Tower Hamlets that Robert Jenrick mugged off, wasn't it? I don't think that's libelous. So I think morally we have an obligation to take them.
Yeah, that's a shout. What are we classing Bristol as? Is Bristol downwards or upwards or what? I don't know where Bristol is. Bristol's one of them places. I imagine it, and it could be anywhere. It could be up there.
By Wales, isn't it?
Like it could be anywhere. Like if you said to me Bristol, oh yeah, it's up by Scotland. That yeah, sound. Bristol, yeah, it's near Sussex. That oh really? Yeah, sound. Bristol, it's by Wolverhampton. That yeah, I could get anywhere. Could be anywhere.
Well, it's south of South Wales, so that's got to be south, hasn't it?
Yeah, I'd have Bristol as well. Bristol is
Yeah, I'd like to go to Bristol.
Yeah.
Sam, where are you at? Tower Hamlets?
Yeah, I love Tower Hamlets, but I'm happy with either Brighton in the northeast or where we've decided where Bristol is. I'm happy with that also.
Where's everyone invading first?
Wait, so invading, does this mean you just get to kick absolute buggery out of the gaff and leave?
Genghis Khan the fuck out of it, I think that's what Matt's saying.
That sounds
not the rape and incest.
Yeah, good. I'm glad. Yeah. I'm glad we made that that distinction. That's a tough one, isn't it? But to be honest, I'd quite like to kick Watford to the ground.
Oh.
I don't know why. Just
beat them to death with the rubber snakes.
Just Watford. I think it's one of them places that I could quite easily give it a good kick in and be okay with it because Watford doesn't really have very much about it. So if you kicked it until it was gone, you're not really losing very much.
That's most of Hertfordshire.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Let's just ruin the entire county.
It seems to be its biggest thing seems to be that it's nearly London.
Yeah, but
we're nearly London. You're not, but
you can commute there. Loads of places are nearly London. Trains are really fast. Like St Albans is nearly London.
To be fair, Stoke is nearly London if we're going by trains.
Yeah.
Like, takes an hour.
Yeah.
Let's hear it for trains. Yeah.
Cracking lads, the trains.
But seriously, Hertfordshire is so like the commuter belt where everyone's sort of picket fence racists. All of that can go for me.
Yeah, I steaming in on them.
Yeah.
Brian?
Geez, Hull.
Yeah, Jeff.
Oh yeah.
Nice to see you.
Nice pussy.
Sorry, right, go on with.
Where's yours, Les?
He's in the garden. He's knocking about in the garden. It's quite nice.
That's always the highlight on this show when Mike and you are on. I always just get to see your cats.
I just realised why that happened. It was because when I was doing the impression before about Amir Khan being like a cat, I actually did the thing. So she's now sat in the corner, having a little look for where the thing was. Yeah. So I feel quite bad now.
Oh, she's lovely.
She's all right. Can't knock her.
Where are you invading?
Hull or Huddersfield. I don't really know why. I've been to both of them. They're both. I'll go. I'm trying to remember. I reckon Huddersfield was a bit shitter than Hull. So let's just make it even worse.
I've seen Everton draw the Huddersfield. The only time I've been there.
Yeah, I was going to say like I haven't been to a heap of places, but I have gone through there on my journeys, and they were both pretty shit. So why not?
Where were you going? I take it Huddersfield wasn't. Hull could have been your final destination because it's right on the coast. I take it Huddersfield wasn't. I was just passing through. I
went and saw Everton there.
Oh, okay. Was
it was very hit and run.
Yeah.
To be fair, Hull just reminds me of Northern Soul, because I got a ferry across from Hull to Rotterdam, and it was when Everton were playing Wolfsburg, so we went across by car and drove all the way through. It was very cold and uncomfortable, and the cruise on the way there was a Northern Soul cruise, and it was the weirdest thing I've ever experienced. It was like being in a fever dream. I was sat there with a pint in front of me, and just loads of fellas with like weird bike jackets that weren't bike jackets, that sort of had like different social bloody community belts on them. It was really weird.
Like 65-year-olds still trying to do the splits.
Yeah.
65-year-old white men trying to dance like 20-year-old black men.
It was so weird. Like it was the weirdest thing I've ever seen, and I think I must have been about 4 pints down. And I was like, I can't do this anymore. I either need to go to bed or I need to just walk and just keep going and just enter the sea, because it was not a pleasant place to be. But then Everton won, and it was fun.
That leads us nicely on to the last question from Warren, which is, what retro fashion trend or accessory, no matter how bad it looks with hindsight, would you bring back? For instance, is there room in this day and age for bum bags to return?
Yeah.
I can take it you're not going to say Northern Soul Club.
Nah, not for me. Not for me, to be honest with you. But I think bum bags, yeah, I'm big into the old bum bag, to be honest. I think it's absolutely fine. If you want to have a bum bag, you have a bum bag. You do what you want. But for me, I'm bringing a roll neck back. This is the year of the roll neck for me. I'm bringing it back big time. I think, Les, you are my inspiration for all things roll neck. But this year, I've bought, and I think I now have a selection of 5 different nice colour roll necks, which it's going to be a thing as we get further into the year. I've got a couple of thin ones for this sort of like springy, windy vibe we've got now, so I can go out with just a very thin roll neck jumper on and no coat, which I'm really looking forward to. But I've also got a couple of thicker ones for later on in the year. So I've got the entire year planned out. I've got my little nephew coming back from Kuwait with my brother and his wife, hopefully in summertime, at which point for his second birthday, which will be, well, in the summer at some point, I can't remember things, we will coordinate. So we're going to get him a roll neck that is similar to my roll neck, and we're going to be roll neck friends. And that's the year. I've planned it already. It's what we're going to do. The roll neck's coming back, people. Embrace it.
It's solid planning for spring and autumn. That big into. Ryan?
Before I answer, I just had visions of Mike looking like one of the Wiggles with his little roll neck.
Wiggles,
mate. Let me tell you, I'm banging to the Wiggles, mate. Like, obviously, my little nephew, he loves the Wiggles. Like, fruit salad, yummy, yummy. Can't knock it. But honestly, I was skeptical. I was a Wiggles skeptic at first, because some of it I was just a bit like, they're phoning this in here. I can't have them thinking that this is good enough. But then I heard Mumbles the Monster, and Jesus Christ, that is an absolute rammer of a tune. So I'm a big Wiggles man at the minute now. So yeah,
I was sold at Get Ready to Wiggle.
Oh yeah.
Straight in there. And that, funnily enough, that's Jay's first ever gig. We took him to see the Wiggles when he was 3 in Manchester.
You've been to see the Wiggles?
I've seen the Wiggles.
Wow.
Did he enjoy it, or was he terrified? Because I took my friend's kids to see Peppa Pig live, and one quite enjoyed it and the other just shat himself for an hour and a half. He was just absolutely appalled that would brought him into this kind of Peppa was a big puppet as well. That doesn't help, does it?
No.
Like, I wasn't 100% comfortable with any of it.
Like, I think Wiggles is okay because it's people, but like stuff like that where it's like big amorphous blobs, like that's terrifying. No, I don't like that now. I'd hate.
He did bring Dorothy on, which he was fine with as well.
Yeah. Do you know about all the Wiggles drama? Do you know about Wiggles drama?
One fellow was really ill, wasn't he? The lead singer.
One fellow was very ill, which was sad. And then there was 2 of them that were together and then weren't together anymore, but they were still wiggling.
You don't want that in your band, do you?
Do you know what? Like,
keep apart, lads, until we've broken up, and then you.
Honestly, like, if you're gonna take one lesson from Fleetwood Mac, like, that's the lesson. Like, it doesn't work out okay. Like, but still, they maintained wiggling for quite a while after they split up, which I was a little bit skeptical of, but they pulled it through and released some bangers.
Nationalism, I like that.
The greatest export of all time, the Wiggles. They're amazing.
The Wiggles are going to be the picture for this podcast, definitely.
Boss.
Get Ready to Wiggle is the title. Ryan, are you bringing any retro fashion back?
Shit, yeah. Hawaiian shirts. Bring them back. Nothing says I am the life of the party like a Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah, I do
Hawaiian
like
shirt,
that
don't you?
answer.
It's good that I bought 2 Sopranos shirts last summer, and I'm gonna get back into them in a big way because I like that.
Yeah, I watched this Serpent, and I'm just kind of obsessed with high-waisted flares and shirts now that I really can't pull off, but I'd love to be able to. I am considering it. Definitely.
I need it now. Like, I need
Do
that.
Yep. Sam, what are you bringing back?
Oh, I quite like those big coats that Lindy Layton used to wear, you know, from Beats International.
Oh yeah.
Just girls wearing
like that's a big jacket.
Yeah, big, just extremely large coat over everything. I think that would just save me so much time. If I could do that as a statement, and people would accept that was why I was wearing just a massive coat over everything, then yeah, girls with big coats.
I'd like an Arsene Wenger jacket. Do you remember the big one?
The big, like sleeping bag ones. Yeah.
Yeah, I want one of them.
Oh yeah.
I kind of feel like guys can't wear big coats because if you walk around with a big coat, everyone kind of thinks like you're a flasher. Like if I saw a guy in a big coat, I'd be like, you are waiting to expose yourself somewhere.
I mean, my advice is don't flash people. Like, if you don't flash people, people probably won't think you're a flasher. But if you get that reputation, you're not allowed to wear big coats anymore.
If you're walking around in 30-degree heat with a big coat on, there's something not right.
Is that what I'm doing wrong?
Yeah.
Damn it.
You think you'd just wear a little coat if you were flashing in summer? Maybe they need it for the flourish.
Maybe like a Roberto Martinez little coat. Just a little autumn number.
Yeah.
Just your dick hanging out.
Just got a bomber jacket on. He's like, I have misjudged this so badly.
Okay. Yeah.
You're sort of somehow more naked if you're naked waist down, aren't you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there's no more vulnerable situation for a man than being naked except for his socks. You're still wearing just your socks. I think you're most vulnerable.
No, I think it's absolutely 100 times worse if you're wearing some sort of top. I think it's much worse. If you got top on, I actually know you're right. The worst is top and socks. Top and socks. Yeah. That's the most vulnerable you can be as a man.
Just top socks in the main event.
Yep.
The main event. Sam, you're too kind to all of us.
Well, at least we've got the title sorted now.
Main event.
Top socks and main event.
Right, that's all the questions. That's it for this week. That was a lovely way to kick off Saturday. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Ryan. Thanks, Sam. Thanks to everyone who sent questions in. We will catch you next time on Mailbag.